So welcome back to the channel. We are doing an automotive conversation video after what seems like years. To be fair, it actually might have been. Today we're talking about the Royal Enfield Himalayan, specifically the tubeless spoked wheels that are now available for the Royal Enfield Himalayan. So when the bike came out, I was incredibly excited. This is my type of motorcycle and I think it looks a lot better than the previous one. Since then, I've ridden a few customer bikes, I've ridden a few test bikes, and I've really enjoyed the experience. I love how spacious the motorcycle is. I love how tractable and powerful the engine is for a motorcycle in this segment. I like the fact that it has a massive fuel carrying capacity. The overall adventure tourer vibe in terms of appearance really connects with me as well. And it's just a very likable motorcycle overall. The only thorn in its side, what I thought, was the absence of tubeless tires. Now, for those of you who don't know why this is such a big deal, tubeless tires are incredibly more convenient than tube tires. Primarily, if you have a puncture is much easier to repair on a tubeless tire. You can just throw in a patch, you can do it yourself, or you can get it done from a local mechanic on the roadside. It's very easy, it's very quick. The second point is the deflation rate. Now, when a tubed tire gets a puncture, it deflates almost immediately because there is a tear that is created in the tube. This not only is inconvenient, but also it's very unsafe, since this instant deflation, if it happens at higher speeds, can cause a very high amount of instability in the motorcycle, potentially leading to a crash. You don't really want that. So then why didn't the Himalayan have tubeless tires from the beginning? I mean, all sports bikes, all commuters, all street nakeds, pretty much right from 100cc all the way up have this. Well, the fact of the matter is the Himalayan is an adventure tourer. It's meant to do off-road riding. Now, for off-road riding, the issue with alloy wheels, which street bikes and sports bikes rightly get, is that they are extremely rigid and they cannot bend. So when you're going over a particularly harsh part of terrain where the wheel needs to bend and flex for the vehicle to go over it or through it properly, an alloy wheel will not bend, instead it will crack, and the only thing you can do after that is replace it. A spoked wheel will give you that tolerance. It can flex, it can bend, it can bounce, you can jump over things, you can have softer landings, and you don't have to worry about your wheel breaking. The thing is, putting a tubeless tire on a spoked wheel isn't possible just like that. Tubeless tires can only be accommodated traditionally on alloy wheels, and tube tires are required for spoked wheels. The innovation of adding a tubeless tire on a spoked wheel requires a special type of spoked wheel, which is more advanced, more expensive, but also super convenient, because then you get the best of both worlds. You get the flexibility required for off-roading, and you also get the convenience you want during touring, commuting, or even off-roading as well, of not having that instant deflation and having a much easier puncture repair solution. Now, when the Himalayan was launched close to a year ago, the European spec of this motorcycle got this option right from the get-go. India did not get this because there was some extra homologation process required to bring this feature to the India spec Himalayan, which took a lot of time, but I'm happy to say it's finally here. It costs around 11,000 rupees on top of whatever spec Himalayan you're buying if you buy it right from the showroom. And if you buy it later, if you already have a Himalayan and you're adding this accessory on later on, it costs something around 12 to 13,000 rupees. Now, regardless whether you do it before or later, already having a Himalayan, I think these are tremendous prices, and that if you have one of these bikes, you should just go for it without thinking too much about it. Because to me, there's really no drawback. The convenience makes it worth it for sure. And as far as prices go, this is a tremendous one, because both wheels for 11 grand, 13 grand, depending on when you get it, is still incredibly cheap for the amount of sophistication and convenience that this feature brings. I think Royal Enfield has absolutely killed it with the pricing. Coming to the chassis issue of the Himalayan, that's the other issue, and it's a pretty severe one. So according to my knowledge, 2 chassis of Royal Enfield Himalayan 450s have broken so far. Both these bikes had incorrectly mounted crash guards on bolts which were probably linked to the engine mountings in some case, and in the Himalayan 450, that's the new Himalayan, the engine is a stress member. So incorrect torque, incorrect tightening, incorrect fitting, that can lead to a lot of problems. So it wasn't necessarily the fault of the motorcycle directly, but instead a third-party accessory and how it was fit. I believe Royal Enfield has also put out a statement saying the same. But regardless of all of this, this should not have happened. This really should not have happened. People put aftermarket crash guards on all bikes, KTM Adventures, Hero X Pulses, everything right down from 150cc up to more powerful liter class adventure tourers. Crash guards, third-party crash guards are being put on bikes. Everything considered, this really should not happen. So yeah, I mean, Royal Enfield, I hope this has been fixed. Knowing that, I mean, they're a great company, they will have done something to strengthen the weak parts. But now it's just in everybody's head that the frames are breaking. It's not a good look. So if you do buy a Himalayan, just make sure you get the factory crash guard, which is offered in Royal Enfield genuine accessories. Don't get the third-party ones, so that you just know it's being fitted properly to the right screws with the right torque in the right places. And big bulky crash guards don't make a lot of sense. Anyways, a small minimalistic one which is just protecting the important bits such as the engine and the engine mounts, that is more than enough. So these were the two primary issues: the frames breaking and the wheels. The wheels definitely been solved. The frames, I hope it will be solved. You can take preventive action if you have one, but it's still something that has tainted the Himalayan's reputation. Regardless of all of this, it's a superb motorcycle. I really like this bike. I actually took a test ride and I liked it so much. I took another test ride. I was just smiling ear to ear when I came back on this motorcycle. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to reviews of this bike, maybe some stress tests with the new wheels. Sagar Sheldekar is generally extremely good at these kind of reviews. But yeah, the Himalayan is now a more complete package than ever, and I'm very glad Royal Enfield did this. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you're getting a Himalayan 450 or if you're waiting for the 2025 Adventure 390. Which one is more your flavor? Are you gonna wait or do you want one now? Let's have a conversation. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Ride safe.